Hey guys, what's up? Nico again here, and in this 3D Printed Profits episode, I have with us Harold. Harold, where are you coming from, man?
I'm coming from Waco, Texas.
Waco, Texas. A lot of Texans in the show. I love it, man. Yeah. Um, so again, we're just gonna talk about Harold and his business and how he got started, so on and so forth. A couple of things though before we start. Make sure you guys join us in the 3D Printing Side Hustle group. That's where we talk shop, just hang out, talk business, talk about how we can get better, so on and so forth. And make sure you guys stay till the very, very end when I'm going to give you your own product idea for your own 3D printing side business. So, without further ado, Harold, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
So let's get started here. What is your background? Because this is a side hustle, correct?
Well, it started out as a side, like I have a side hustle, and then it turned into something a lot bigger. Um, it started out with me just going out and just playing with 3D printers, and then I got into like designing stuff for motorcycles and actual working products. We ended up going out and hiring a team to actually go in and do design work for us and everything. And then once that kind of got off the ground, and we seen that it actually was something marketable, we just kind of expanded and we kind of went from there. So we've been in the business for about 12 years now, and we do anything from side panels to motorcycles to camera cases for your helmet. We got a lot of YouTube people that come in and they'll buy products from us for like the little head mounts and stuff for the camera mounts. And then we started doing dashboards to cop cars for a while.
Nice.
That was interesting.
So, what
Um,
was the initial investment on the business? Like, what your first 3D printer? How much was the
first,
initial investment?
my first 3D printer cost me about $150. And then from there, I dabbled with it. That was my play toy. That was something I just did when I come home from work. I would get in there and I would spend hours calibrating and getting it just leveled off and just so perfect. And then when I finally got it, I would print my print, and of course it would, back then the print would take 4 or 5 hours to actually produce. But once it was done, and I don't know, compared from then to now, the stuff is a lot better. The better quality now on the printers. But back then, I thought that was the thing, and so we started printing ABS at first. Then we went from ABS to the PTEG, and then we ended up just settling for the tough PLA, high
Gotcha.
high density, high impact tough PLA.
And how much is the business making now?
It's making about 35,000 a month.
Damn, that's profit.
Yep, that's profit. That's bring home in my pocket.
Atta boy. And that started with $150 printer.
Yep, yep.
Holy shit, man.
We,
Well
the
done.
printer farm. The printer farm is about 130 printers. We use XYZ Pros in the entire farm. The building that's
And
housed
what machine are
in
you guys using again?
the XYZ Pro, the Pro 1.0.
XYZ Pro. And you have 130 machines.
Yes.
Most by far on the show. Previous record was by Galactic Armory at 82. You're at 130 machines. Holy shit. And started at a $150 investment.
Yep.
Beautiful. What a story, man. So how did you start? How did you come up with that idea? You're just like, hey, I'm gonna make these motorcycle parts.
I ride bikes, a lot. And one day I was looking at my bike, and part of the plastic fairing was broken, and so I had my 3D printer in my shop, and I was 3D printing like cups and like little dogs and just little trinkets, is to start off with. But then I got to looking at this piece that's on my bike and it was cracked. And I was like, you know what? I can print that. So I went in on my design software, which is free. I used a 3D builder on like a Windows system,
You
and
use
I could,
Windows 3D Builder for real?
yeah.
Man, this story keeps getting better.
And so that's what I do all my design work on is the Windows 3D builder.
No
And
shit. Jesus. I was hoping you say like Fusion 360 or at least SolidWorks. This man said Windows 3D Builder. Oh, oh my God. Good for you, man. Um, so how
so
did you get your first customers and your first clients? How did that start?
my first customers were people on YouTube. Of course, I ride motorcycles, so I was doing a little bit of moto vlogging, stuff like that. And then I got some people. I was printing these little card holders, and they go on the handlebars of the motorcycle. So I started selling those, and they got pretty good. I mean, people love them. They call them spam card holders, and so people started buying those up left and right, left and right. So the my four guys, I started out with only four people, and these four guys would go in, they design stuff for me, and they had this idea. So, well, let's make a camera because GoPro was a big thing back then, and so uh, we designed a camera. We went out, we went on, out of all places, we went out and got the little spy cameras, the little EDB little ones. And so we
Uh-huh.
got and they're micro. And so we ended up using that camera, this high definition camera, and put it in a plastic case with a battery that lasted like 12 hours, and made our own camera. And it mounts right onto the helmet and sticks there
That's
and doesn't
brilliant.
go nowhere. Nobody ever even notices it. Looks like it's part of the helmet. And
Okay.
so,
And
uh,
that's how that's how you got your first customers?
yep, yep. That's how I got my first customers. It was just by simple things, and we just kind of went from there. And now
So what happened next? Like this is so interesting. So what happened next, right? So you get your first customers, you print your little part onto your the crack of your bike, and then what? Like you were
then it just kind of exploded. People started coming to me asking me for like custom work. Like, can you build this for me? Can you build that for me? And of course, it took time. And so I would never charge them for like the item. I'd charge them for the time it took to make it. And so, and everybody was happy with that. I mean, I told them, it's going to take me X amount of hours to make this. When they would always come back, well, how long would it take you to design it? Well, if you don't have the files, then of course we have to make it, get the files. But the nice thing was, whenever people bought the product from us, we would send them the files that that went with that product because it was a custom product, so they could go back and print more from a different company. They could outsource it or whatever, and that's where it really boomed, is whenever we started doing that kind of stuff. And from there, we got into doing stuff for airsoft,
okay.
and we were building just like pieces. We didn't really build a full out airsoft gun. We just built like little small, like triggers or trigger guards, or just incremental little pieces. And so we had a big inventory of that. And then out of nowhere, this company uh, emailed me and said, "Hey, we got this big project going. We need some dashes 3D printed for cars."
A full
Well,
dash?
yeah. So we're scratching our head. We're thinking, how are we going to do this? These little printers only print stuff like 6 inches by 6 inches at the most.
Right.
You know, at a certain height, we're going to have to print all these little pieces and put it together like a jigsaw puzzle. It's not even going to be even up to par for the strength or anything like that. So we went to a convention, and this guy had a big huge printer, and he's 3D printing a car. And I'm pretty sure you've seen it on YouTube and
Yeah,
everything.
this dude, I think this team 3D printed a boat.
Right, right. Well, the one we saw, he was 3D printing a full car. You could get in it, drive it, everything like an electric motor or something like that. Anyway, we actually got to see it face to face, and we got to talking to the guy. Well, that guy sold us a printer big enough to print.
How big is this thing?
Oh gosh,
You still
it's
have it?
oh, do I still have it? Oh yeah, it's at the shop. It's not here. It's 12 feet long by 6 feet wide, and I think it was almost 4 feet tall.
Damn,
I have to go get the right measurements on it. I have to measure it and everything just to be sure.
dude,
The
that's a big
motors,
boy.
the motors on it are about as big as if you ball your fist up, about that they're about that big, maybe a little bit bigger.
Nice.
It's pretty nice, but it's if you kick up the speed on it, it goes real fast. But the nozzle is like a point three on the nozzle. I mean, it's thick, some thick plastic coming out of into that thing. But of course, once you get it printed and everything, you would go over it, we sand it down, make it look nice. But we've been printing out of carbon fiber here the past 3 months, and we've had some really good results with that so
Dude,
far.
that's awesome, man. So, um, what struggles did you guys have when you first started? I mean, it sounds like you guys grew pretty damn fast. I mean, you can't get to
Well,
130 machines in, you know,
we had,
that's
yeah, I mean, there's the biggest struggle that we had was getting our name initially out there, getting out there, and I mean, it took months for us to get a foothold in the industry because I mean, we had all these other, everybody else that was in competition, everybody else had their own product going. Um, I mean, you always had somebody coming in trying to, you know, do something to make you look bad, or I mean, it was a battle. It was a really bad battle trying to get a a foothold in it to the point to where we were solid, we were steady, we were going. And now we are, but up until that point, it was more of the advertisement and getting us out there. Once we got the advertisement, we got good reviews, we got people coming. The customers started coming to us. We had returning customers, and that's what really saved us. And in the beginning, the returning customers, if you print something that's nice, that looks good, it lasts, it is strong, um, and it's something that they're going to use for years and years and years. Even though it breaks, then they're going to come right back to you. Hey, you built this. It lasted for like 4 years. I want another one. And that person will come right back to you.
so
And that's what.
because you're in the motorcycle industry, we all know the PLA warps in the heat. Um, what material are you guys printing with that
So
is
that's a really good question. So ABS has a really high tension to melt in the dead of the heat. So a company came out with PTEG and a carbon fiber mix, and both of those put together, when you put heat to it, it doesn't go nowhere.
gotcha. Okay.
Solid. So that carbon fiber, it strengthens, but carbon fiber, is brittle in itself. PTEG comes in behind it, mixed in with it, and that gives it strength. So basically, if you want to kind of think about it, it's a high impact PTEG. PTEG itself is strong. You can hit PTEG with a hammer.
Yeah,
If that's
Petchy's pretty damn strong. Yeah.
hit with a sledgehammer, and it'll bounce the hammer right up, back in the air. But with the carbon fiber with it, that gives it that heat resistance.
Dude, that is so awesome, man. That's your story blows me away. That's a big number. Um, and so what's working today in terms of marketing? Is it just word of mouth now? Or are you guys putting out Facebook ads? How are you guys advertising and marketing?
Well, I think we're a little bit above most people. I kind of feel like in this industry, we're more or less. we have, of course, we went from 4 people. Now we have 37 people that work in the main building. Um, we did have another building in a different part of the United States, but we've since closed that building because of inflation, of course. We just kind of want to get our numbers back up before we go back to that part. Um, but we have a group that will go out and they get hot leads and they'll email people. And so when they email people, they'll reach out to other companies and just email them and say, "Hey, we've seen you have a good product. We have a way of getting that product out to you quicker." And so that's our main scope is to advertise the simple fact that yes, it's 3D printed parts, but they're good quality 3D printed parts. They're not
Gotcha.
not plastic injection or nothing like that. And plus, we have I have two girls that go around and they'll take the product, they'll go to the company that says, yeah, well, we'd like to have a demo or something like that, and they'll demo that part for them, and they'll show them the strength or what it's capable of doing. They'll even we'll even 3D print a piece that's like just not of quality, and let them break it and say, this is with this type of plastic, this is with this type of plastic, and they'll show them the different types of plastic on how to print their product, and it's going pretty good. I mean, we're more of a in the face type of advertisement, trying to get the business.
I
You
see.
know,
I see. And how much are you guys charging per print hour?
for print hour,
Yeah,
it
because
all
you
depends.
said you charge per hour, right? You don't sell the item. You charge per
Right.
print hour.
It all depends on the how big the print is. I mean, if it's a print that takes 3 days, then we're charging about $15 to $16 an hour.
Damn. I like that. Some good margins, Harold. Good
It
margins.
it brings in the money. It helps pay for the plastic. The amount of plastic that we go through within a month. I haven't looked at the books lately, but I know they brought in a semi truck the month before last, full of plastic, and it was filled from front back.
Man, that's crazy, dude. So honestly, man, that's it for me. You answered all my questions as we're going. That's one hell of a story. That's a big number, dude. So
Oh,
let's wrap this up with your number one tip for anyone who wants to start their own 3D printing business.
well, my number one tip is don't give up. Always strive for what you believe in, and no matter what, print what you like.
There you go. So I told everybody to stay to the very, very end. I'll give you your own product idea for your own 3D printing side business. And today's product idea are custom drink stirrers. Like if you go to a bar, right? There's drink stirrers. The the drink industry, believe it or not, is a giant industry. Alcohol is big money. You ever go to a bar? You know how much drinks are nowadays? Like $11, $12.
I know it.
Top shelf, like $30. You kidding me? Right? So those custom drink stirrers, if you go out to an exclusive club and have their own like label on there, there you go. So that's today's product idea for your own 3D printing business. Harold, dude, great story, man. I've never seen these kind of margins. This is phenomenal. So congratulations to you and your team. Make sure you guys tune in Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Pacific for episodes like this. And I'll catch you guys later. Harold, thanks again, man.
Yes, sir.